4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka. Phenomena. Tiptoe through the tulips with me.
You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to
This one's explosive.
Don't sit in confusion because life's an illusion. Close your eyes and open your ears. We speak truth and stomp on fears.
You're listening to Talk Supernatural Radio, where we bring it to you live from the U.S. to the U.K., up north to down under, Rhode Island to Easter Island, Dongo, Congo to Zipperlandville, Texas. And if you're listening, you are right where you're supposed to be.
The views and opinions and personalities expressed on this show are those solely of TSR and do represent who we are and what we believe. If you don't like satire, if you find rabbit trailing annoying, if you don't like to laugh, if you can't handle the truth, do not listen to this show. We are not responsible for your nightmares, denial issues, bleeding ears, or annoyance. And if you're good with that, let's dance! Thanks for listening to Supernatural Seekers. We're Scott and Heidi Linden, your tongue-in-cheek but para-chic host, airing once more to give you truth, freaky, and satire. Not necessarily in that order. We expose darkness and torment denial. We're giving you bizarre reality with news, laughs, facts, experiences, and the words for you to live right by.
What's up? It's another TSR Friday. Hope you all got through the week without too much damage. Tonight we're discussing the truth behind cursed objects and places. But first we have a little listener love going on. Listener love. Okay, so this was shared on our Facebook page. I'm finding out that just about everyone in my family is suffering from many of the ailments which you've shared on your podcast. She's referring to last week's on the whole spiritual oppression and fibromyalgia stuff. Definitely want to learn more about this because as far back as a child, I can remember some pretty strange things that have been happening throughout my life that I never understood until yesterday. With the help of God and many of you that have researched it, I'm praying to God that He will help me work out all of this. And that is from Deborah. That's a nice...
Very nice.
It's good to know that we're helping you. Yay! Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Interesting.
Headlines.
All right, so we got this weird kind of story. 11-year-old shoots and brags. Last Wednesday morning, 11-year-old Chris was home alone, downstairs petting his dog. He hears a noise upstairs, so he gets scared and he grabs a knife. Because, that's
what you do.
That's what you do. He peeks up the stairwell, and a man appears at the top. I guess he's familiar with who this guy is. I guess he knows him as some meth addict, and he's robbed them before. So, okay. So the guy dashes away and reappears with a gun, and he tells the boy that he's going to kill him. So instead of running, this 11-year-old grabs a 9mm and threatens the intruder to get out of his house. The man just ignores him and started to nonchalantly leave, assuming that I'm thinking that he didn't think the boy had a real gun.
Or wasn't going to do nothing
right.
or something, yeah.
Once the man made it outside, this kid, Chris, fires a warning shot. He's like 11. It's just weird.
Huh.
The man who was carrying a stolen laundry hamper began running. And this kid, Chris, emptied the magazine, firing off 12 shots by the time the guy got to the fence in the front yard. I guess his stepdad had been giving him shooting lessons.
Uh-oh.
So Chris shot through, obviously his dad's not that great of a teacher because the kid missed him every time. Except for one, shot through the hamper and it got him in the leg. The hospital said that he didn't have any life-threatening injuries. But then the kid was bragging about it, saying that this guy was crying like a baby. So, okay, like, my first question is, like, why is an 11-year-old home by himself?
Well,
Especially if you know your house has been broken into by a meth addict, I would be like...
that's why his dad told him how to use a gun.
No, I know, okay, so you know how to use a gun, but...
You shoot a meth addict.
Okay, son. See that target there? Just pretend it's any meth addict. but I guess I'm just wondering, like...
He's 11. I mean,
would you have the mentality at 11 to be
well,
shooting?
I did. I had the mentality of 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To shoot? Shoot and kill.
Shoot to kill, run marathons, go to outer space, whatever I needed to do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Important stuff.
Ahead of my time. Happens.
Okay, so then, see, another story. Everybody's talking about the death of Prince.
Yeah.
Last week, we lost him, a legend. And the internet went purple. I mean, everything was Prince everywhere. It was crazy. Every quote from the 1990 album was used in reference to his life and his death. But the story of the death has been beaten to the ground, so that's not really what I wanted to bring up. I feel it is noteworthy to mention that he was outspoken against chemtrails and the Illuminati. He did this interview about his album Dreamer, and he talks about the chemtrails, and I have a small clip. But I guess he was really outspoken about water, the food, the air, and the stuff that we have being poisoned. So here's this little clip of Prince.
Tell me about Dreamer.
Oh, well, this phenomena of chemtrails. And, you know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time. And so, oh, that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them. And the next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood was fighting and arguing, and you didn't know why. Okay, and you really didn't know why. I mean, everybody was fighting.
So that's an interview that he did, and there's obviously people coming out saying, "Oh, the Illuminati killed him," but it's looking like he had a drug issue, and they had said he hadn't slept in days, and so I don't think it was the Illuminati. So I don't know. But you know what's interesting is, like, when I was growing up, it was like I was really into Prince, big time, and then. Michael Jackson and Prince were really big. And it was always like, they called Michael Jackson the king or whatever. So they'd be like, the king of pop versus Prince. And that was like the huge thing. And then, but of course I was team Prince because I was a little more wild, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Although I did have the Michael Jackson poster where he was in all yellow because that was just so manly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
yeah.
It was very important. Well, anyway, so Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris, do you remember, I think it was like a couple years ago, where she tried to commit suicide? Do you remember that story? But it's just sort of interesting because before this happened, she was posting tons of stuff on Twitter, pictures that she was drawing of really occult-like things tied into the Illuminati. And she kept writing these real cryptic messages on Twitter about, you know, just little hints of the Illuminati, and then she would hashtag retweet if you know what I'm talking about, and truth, and if you know they're watching.
There's always somebody watching.
So, and it sounds like she believes that the Illuminati killed her dad. So, I don't know, I just found that.
There's always a bunch of lots you'll never truly know about. I mean, they say the same thing about Elvis and some of the things he knew. I guess he knew a lot of things outside of, they're just as curious as we are, whether you be someone famous or not. I mean, you get curious about these things, you start digging around, and then if you're a little more famous, you might have a little more ability to dig around a little bit better than other people, and you might find yourself in a place you don't want to be.
Well, they say if the Illuminati is full of powerful and rich people, they're going to try and get everybody they can as far as, so, I mean, someone, let's say like Michael Jackson or Prince, they know powerful and rich people, and they hear things. You never know.
Never know.
So, all right. So, another food lawsuit.
Oh, boy.
Seems like we get more and more of these kinds of stories, but this one is a little, maybe it's valid. We'll see. Okay. Caffeine enthusiast Stacy Pincus from Chi-Town. She filed a $5 million lawsuit against Starbucks. She's accusing it of using too much ice in its cold drinks. Her claim is that Starbucks advertises its cold drinks by fluid ounce, but the numbers are only accurate when the ice is added to a drink.
I guess the outcome would depend on if you consider ice a fluid.
And that's what I was wondering, so I actually looked that up. And it's not.
Really?
Yeah, only liquids and gases are considered fluids because they're able to be compressed. So maybe she might have something. She might win this over that type of technicality. A Starbucks spokesperson said that the company is aware of Stacy's claim and believes it's without merit, and although science says it is.
Well, you know, I mean, sometimes I think we've all experienced the fact that we go to the store, we get a soda or whatever, and you know, they fill it up with ice and they give you a little bit of soda.
Right.
And it's fine for the first couple drinks, but then it all starts to melt and you realize...
Tastes terrible.
Yeah, it tastes terrible.
Yeah.
You've given you a bunch of ice. I mean, the fact of the matter is that soda comes in these big, huge vats and all this different... It's so cheap to give it to you. Why cheat you?
Oh, they just want to stretch everything they can.
That's why I like when you go to the movie theater, you do your own. And I just put just a little bit of ice in, and then I fill it up with soda. And I just have enough to make it cold, but not ruin the flavor.
Whoa.
I know. That's crazy.
You're giving away some spoilers
I know.
here.
I know.
Oh, I like it. 101 tips from TSR. Well, the spokesperson also says that customers understand and expect that ice is an essential component to iced coffee. So if a customer is not satisfied with their beverage prep, they're happy to remake it for you.
That's true, too.
And also now the lawyers are saying the suit could go over $5 million because other people might hop on this bandwagon. And
well, there's a thing,
that's stupid.
too, though. I mean, they've been pretty good about saying, you know, if you're not happy with your drink, we'll make another one.
Yeah.
So if you look
but
at them
$5 million, come on,
drinks.
Stacey. I mean, what do you want, a Porsche? Come on. Yeah.
Well, that's...
As
long as lawsuits like this keep making it through, regardless of what they are, and somebody doesn't step aside and say, no, we're not doing it. Get out of here.
Right.
It's going to keep happening. I mean, why? I mean, there's those who want that easy ride, easy money. Why wouldn't they keep trying? Why not?
True. Yeah.
I mean, even if it's a settlement of $500,000, I mean, what the heck?
I'd be embarrassed to be Stacey.
Some people don't care.
I guess not.
So if they get $5 million, so much for the embarrassment, I guess.
Yeah, I'd move to Puerto Rico and never have to worry about anybody else. No one's going to be like, hey, isn't that the chick from the U.S. who sued Starbucks for too much ice? They're not going to know.
Yeah. You know, I met the chick that had her chickens taken away.
What chick with the chickens?
Remember the chickens?
No.
You can't have chickens, and they had this whole chicken protest going on around here. You have to sign the chicken thing. That chick works at Walgreens.
Yeah. What about her?
I know who it is.
But did they take her chickens away?
Well, they did take her chickens away.
And that's what she's protesting?
No, she's not protesting. She's getting... You have to have so many signatures, 2,200 signatures by tomorrow. Oh. And she's got like 2,100 that she can have chickens. But I know who it is. Yeah. I actually know who it is now. Oh. It's that multicolored... Yeah. That older lady with the multicolored hair.
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
She wants chickens.
She just wants chickens, and they took her chickens away, which... I don't see any problem with anybody having chickens. Maybe roosters, because they're annoying, to other people.
Yeah.
But what are chickens hurting? Yeah, they come and take her chickens away. So now she's basically...
Cindy. Her name's Cindy.
Yeah.
Cindy the chicken lady.
Yeah. So people in our community have been signing a thing to allow our community to have chickens in your backyard, which I don't see a problem with.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Roosters, yes. They're noisy. They wake people up, but chickens don't.
They just don't want you to have your own eggs because it's healthy, and they want you to eat poison eggs.
That's what it is. They want poison eggs.
They want you to die.
Die.
The space doorway. Last month, the Hubble telescope. I love that thing. That captures such cool pictures.
I know. That thing is cool. I want to get one.
I want one, too.
Maybe we can have the old Hubble.
Maybe we could start a petition. And we get 2,100, 2,200 signatures so we could have a Hubble telescope in our backyard. Maybe we could do that.
The Hubble flies around. It doesn't.
But I want rights to it. I want its images sent to me, too, not just NASA.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's start a petition.
2,200 signatures. Shouldn't take long.
So this Hubble thingy captured what they're calling the space doorway. It's a cool cluster of stars and gases that look like some spiritual doorway. It's a neat picture. I'm going to put it up on our Facebook page. Some are claiming, though, that it is a spiritual gateway. NASA's explanation is that it is a weird structure called the red rectangle. It's where a dying star is pumping out gas and creating a weird shape around it. Once the mass discharges...
When I pump out gas, I get a weird shape around me, too.
That is true.
It's called a fog.
Gross. Oh, God.
Foul the flies, baby. Foul the flies.
That's sick. So once this mass discharges... I'm afraid to read the rest of this now. Once the mass discharges, a hot white dwarf star will remain, and its intense ultraviolet radiation will cause the surrounding gas to glow. And that is science explanation, but you never know. That doesn't mean that's God's explanation.
You never know.
You know? So, like, potato, potato. Who knows?
we've had a lot of things throughout history saying this is that and this is that, and the scientist says this is that, and then years later they go, oh, okay, yeah, we were wrong. So
right.
For right now, we'll say it's a really neat looking thing. Exactly what it is.
It's a space doorway.
Space doorway.
But it is about 2,300 light years away.
And right around the corner.
And it's in the unicorn constellation, so we're good.
Oh.
So, yeah, we're all good. Cyborg lenses. Google has patented a new technology that will let the company inject a computerized lens directly into your eyeball.
This is freaky. This is true.
How it's done. They remove the lens of your eye. Inject fluid into your empty lens capsule. Then they place an electronic lens in the fluid. You'll never need glasses or contacts again. You may never even need a telescope or a microscope again. Possibly your eyes can capture photos and videos with this.
This is freaky.
Oh, the computerized lens will automatically adjust to help you see objects at a distance or close by. The lens could be powered by the movement of your eyeball and connect to a nearby wireless device.
I can't see! Gotta replace the batteries.
Batteries.
I can't put the batteries in if I can't see.
Not to mention, it'll correct eye damage and disease. So, but Google did note that privacy could become a concern because the signals in computerized eyes could allow law enforcement or hackers to identify you or track your movements. So, not like they're already watching us anyways. It's like it's already in your cell phone.
I want a cyborg eye.
You do?
Yeah.
It'd be sort of cool.
Yeah.
What's that? Wasn't that Bionic Woman? $6 Million Man? They had all body parts like that.
Yeah, but because they could go... They could do all that.
Oh, yeah.
We can't do that.
We could. We get a cyborg eye and we could start going...
I guess so. Well, that's a wrap for the news. Let's get into tonight's topic.
One of my favorite quotes is by Billy Shakespeare. He says, "There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy." Love that. And there are things on this planet that are definitely stranger than anything Hollywood could ever conjure up. Although Sharknado is pretty out there.
Sharknado 4 is coming out.
July 31st.
In July.
I think it's
31st.
So, for sure July. I think it's the 31st. And that is pretty strange. But as far as eerie, creepy, paranormal, curse kind of stuff, there's forests that'll make your skin crawl.
Happens. Dolls that will give you nightmares.
Landscapes that make you shudder.
Furniture that will give you the willies.
From your eyes to that sixth sense, something just doesn't seem right.
Always follow that initial feeling. Most of the time, it's right.
People investigate the dark, dusty steps of old castles and houses, and they walk graveyards to capture something unnatural. They roam the halls of asylums in hopes to experience a spirit.
It starts innocently enough, with a curiosity, but often ends up with a feeling that no human being ever wants to have.
And by that time, it's a little too late, because if you haven't allowed something sinister to attach itself to you, in the very least, you're going to have a horrifying image forever embedded in your mind. Not cool. I've been there. Like the dark is scary, fog is creepy, nighttime is eerie, an abandoned old house is spooky. So why do we love it? Is it our human interest? Is that taking over? Or maybe are we led by supernatural powers to like it? Every graveyard and vacant rundown house is haunted. Every Indian burial mound and nursing home and previous insane asylum carry tormented spirits, they say. So why are we insisting that every single one of these things is, every time you pass a graveyard, someone is going to say, oh, there's ghosts there.
Well,
or
not a better place to have ghosts than where dead people are.
Yeah, but when you die, you don't die in the graveyard. You don't die in a graveyard. You die where you die. And then
that's the best chance. There's a big formation of dead people laying around.
If I was a spirit, I am not going to go, hey, I'm just going to go hang out by my dead body in a graveyard.
Well, you get a lot of other dead bodies to hang out with.
No one wants to hang out in a
graveyard. People like to be by people they're familiar with.
When I die, I'm not going to be hanging out in a graveyard. I'm going to hang out somewhere really cool that I could not hang out before.
How do you know you ain't been dead before?
But... Well, I know what I'd want to do.
How do you know that? You don't know that when you're dead, you might change your mind. You might want to be able to communicate with people you can communicate with.
I bet there's going to be a lot more people.
Communicate with dead people. Dead people communicate with dead people.
I'm going to be hanging out in Hawaii. I bet there's going to be a lot of dead people in Hawaii.
You don't speak Hawaiian.
I don't need to. When you're a spirit, you just, you do this.
Kalakamiki. Anyways.
Kalikimaka is a place to be. I'll just hang out in a Hawaiian graveyard then. I'm not going to hang out by my dead body. That's stupid. Not that I believe it anyways.
Now, we believe that Ephesians 6:12 says how we wrestle against powers and spiritual wickedness in high places.
And we always attribute this to people. So, question is for the topic, can a thing or place be haunted or cursed or possessed? Imagine that. So, let's think about this.
Okay.
When we were dating, while we're talking, I don't. Sometimes I don't think and talk. Sometimes I just talk.
You're telling me.
Like when you asked me out, I didn't think. I just said yes. I should have thought about that a little more.
I should have thought before I spoke.
Okay. When we were dating, do you remember when we went to that antique shop?
Yeah.
And we were looking at stuff, and when I passed that bassinet, and I was just like, oh my God, I was so ew. It was just something, I didn't even want to be near it.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know anything about it. So you wonder, do these hold kind of, has it ever happened to you where you've passed something and just didn't feel right about it?
I can't say that it has, no.
I can't, I know I've probably had more experiences, but I just can't, that one sticks out of my mind though, just because of the bassinet, you think of a baby and,
Right.
And then we had that house that we went to help those people with a haunting. And I think there were 3 of us, and we didn't talk to each other. We wrote our notes down, but we didn't tell each other.
Right, that's one thing we did is we go through and we'd examine things on an individual basis. Then, after we all came to our own conclusions or whatever, we would compare notes to make sure that none of us were persuading one another in what to think.
Yeah. And in that case, 3 of us had gotten, there was something off about that chair, right? It was a chair, a little chair?
Yeah, it was like a little chair.
Toddler
chair?
It
was like a children, but it was like an older type thing. Like kind of an antique, like a little desk and a little chair.
And I think it was like, they wanted to keep it because it either was I don't remember the story, either it was in the family or it just meant something to them. But as soon as we told them this, they were like, we want it gone.
Nice. It was a nice little piece
and
of
furniture.
And
it was that particular room where they were having issues too,
right.
Because the baby or something was having nightmares.
No, that whole house was a mess because it had people practicing 3 different religions in the house.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, you had the mom was a Catholic, I guess. The daughter whose room that was in was practicing, white magic with a mixture of black magic. The husband was like Indian or something, and he was Buddhist or something. Seriously, they were mixing everything up, and they had so much junk going on spiritually in that house. That's the one where I had to yell at the lights, remember?
Oh, yeah. And while we were there, the phone kept ringing, and she kept answering, and there was static, no one there. And she was a cop, so no one had that number.
She had a private number, so she was surprised to have the phone ringing at all.
Yeah.
And let alone every time it would picked up, it was just static. Yeah.
And then all the lights were
flickering
in each room.
Maybe it was just somebody called eating popcorn.
Maybe it's a... Yeah,
they couldn't chew fast enough before they spoke.
We couldn't figure out what it was with the chair. But there was something off with that chair.
Right.
And then when we had a very good friend, really great chick, who was Wiccan, and she made us that beautiful box. Uh-huh. And It was to carry our stuff in when we went to these investigations.
Box,
yeah, she worked hard on it. It was very pretty, and we put all our stuff in there for our investigations. But then when we sort of parted ways with her because we were leaning towards Christianity, and it just kept getting in the way of our investigations, and she didn't want to be part of the team anymore. And we parted ways amicably, but
that's a big word.
We kept the box, and eventually I was getting sick, and I mean, I was not myself. And then we had someone, and we sort of had the box sort of tucked away somewhere in the room. And then we had a friend from church come over to find out why I wasn't coming to church because I was just so angry. And you knew I wasn't right. Something just wasn't right with me.
It was because you were licking your back with your tongue. Something wasn't right.
I was not, crawling up the wall backwards, peeing on the garbage can.
Saying.
And she... Somehow God allowed her to sense that there was an object in that room that was cursed. And when she
started questioning us about objects, things, did someone give you something?
Yep.
And it took a little bit because we couldn't
figure it out.
Dial it in, but we eventually did as soon as she's seen it.
She knew. She was like, "Oh,
that's it."
Yep. And she prayed over it, and we kept it for a while. She prayed over it and casted it out.
Have it. Actually, I think we still have it, yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting. And when that all happened, everything just stopped. It was awesome. So there was something to that.
So we actually have a little personal experience with this exact thing we're talking about.
And then there was, and I think I might even talked about this last week, when I used to work at the Renaissance Fair. And I know that there were all types of religions or faiths and stuff, and they would have their own little things, rituals and prayers and whatnot. And they would pray over items for people who were at the fair that if they bought these things, that spirits or their gods or goddesses would go with that person. And, I mean, there's a lot of power in the tongue. There's a lot of power in words. When something's spoken, it could happen. So... and then our daughter had purchased something there, and she was having nightmares, and she had to get rid of that. And then, of course, obviously, the infamous Ouija board. We know that carries spirits because that's just like the freeway to supernatural bad.
Yeah, it's. I remember the first time I encountered that. We've talked about this before. You wouldn't, for those of you who have never mess with one of these or anything like that, you might think, well, come on, it's a piece of cardboard with a piece of plastic on. Give me a break. That's what I thought. Yeah. I found out different. Don't play with the Ouija board. Bad idea. Real bad idea.
And curses are deep-seated beliefs in numerous cultures. And God speaks of cursed things all throughout the Bible. And it says people, places, and things can be cursed.
We know God cursed Satan for deceiving Eve.
Wait, let you guys know, we don't like seeing their real name. We don't want to give him any credit. So they're like, they don't even know his name.
Satan, for deceiving Eve, made him suffer as a serpent. And he cursed Adam for eating the forbidden fruit, making him have to labor for the provisions of his life. And Eve was cursed, too, that she would have pain in childbirth. And this goes on until the end of time for all of us. So we continue to
sure does.
But, we said before, it wouldn't have mattered if it was Adam or Eve or Bob and Linda, or it wouldn't have mattered. The plan was already designed. So
Bob and Linda. Marge and Homer. Sonny and Cher. Could be anybody.
I've got you, babe.
Mulder and Scully. Okay, there's many verses that talk about people being cursed, but the Bible also talks about places being cursed too. And it's funny because some people believe that God says in Genesis 8:21 that he won't allow his land to be cursed, or allow land in general to be cursed, because that verse says, "The Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground anymore for man's sake." But that word curse there actually means to make light of. So he's not saying a curse. He's saying he's not going to make light of this anymore. It's going to be more serious for him. He's going to take it more seriously.
However, in various verses, we see there is actual curse on places.
Yeah, like in Mount, I think it's Ebal. And then there was a land where Judas Iscariot hung himself. That's said to be cursed. The land of Judah is cursed to desolate ruin without inhabitants. City of Jerusalem is cursed and to be a curse to all nations. So not only is a place cursed, but it's going to be a curse to others. Plus, there are multiple cities cursed to be wastelands in the Bible. And in Isaiah 24, it speaks of a curse that ends up devouring the land. So a place may not necessarily be cursed, but affected by a curse.
In Deuteronomy, where God gives many laws, it talks about when a person's done something so bad that it's worthy of death, and they're put to death because of it. They're cursed of God, so their body should not remain all night hanging. It should be buried that day, and the land will be defiled. Or the land will be defiled. So, he's saying, when somebody does something so bad, get put to death, you're going to hang them, but you got to get them down and you got to bury them, because otherwise you're going to curse everything.
And we don't know everything. We don't understand everything. And the Bible does say God's ways aren't our ways. So there's things in the supernatural realm that he knows that we don't. So why is it such a big deal that they remove that body? Why can't it hang all night? I don't know. But God says you just better listen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's reasons.
There is. And, it's possible when we get hauntings, maybe it's a cursed land, a house. Or if a person is cursed, does that end up with the death of their body? Or is their soul cursed, like into an object? Like, when the demons, Jesus cast out those demons and they didn't want to go, and they said, please just put us somewhere, and he put them in the pigs.
Pigs, right.
So they have to go, the spirits have to go somewhere. They don't just linger. They don't say, hey, I'm just going to hang out. They don't, we're going to party in Hawaii in a graveyard. They don't do that, Cain killed his brother Abel, and God says that Abel's blood cried out from the ground.
When we consider cursed objects, God mentions items being cursed also. In Joshua 6:18 says, if we're wise, we'll keep ourselves from the accursed thing, because we can make ourselves accursed when we take of an accursed thing, and that could be trouble for our surroundings.
So, right there, God's saying.
Right. The accursed thing will make us accursed.
Yeah. And when you look up the meaning behind a cursed thing, it means a doomed object. Doomed. And it seems that an object that is cursed is one that was used for terrible things, or sin, or for something against God. So can it carry demonic spirits?
Maybe, because when terrible acts are done, this does leave an open door for unclean spirits, ones who have not bathed.
So, like these objects, I should say, are not random. We view them as random, but they're not. So when you've got a cursed doll, they say, or a cursed bassinet, like we were talking about earlier, usually it entails something that happened around it that was bad. A death. Not a death, but a murder, or just something violent, so bad. So it just ties into the Bible, and the Bible ties into what goes on. It's all you just got to search, and then you got to figure too that demons are limited to what God allows too. Like I think of remember when you caught that, what was that? You caught that possum. You found that possum for that person, and you caught it and you put it in a cage. Remember that? Didn't you capture a possum? I got a picture of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think of that. So God's in control, and if you've got this...
They stink. Possums.
Yeah, possums stink bad.
God, they smell so
I know,
bad.
they're sort of cute, but yeah, they stink.
Yeah.
But when you've got a wild, violent animal, you put it into a cage, and you can put that cage anywhere you want. And it's sort of like God saying, okay, I'm going to take this demonic spirit, and it's going to be stuck to this thing. So it may be out in this earth, but it's trapped to this particular thing. That's how I view it, at least. And with that said, we've actually done some research on objects and places that have been deemed cursed. Okay, so let's see. First one, crying boy painting. Giovanni. I can't even do it as good as you.
Because I'm Italian.
No, you're not. You're not Italian.
Yes, I am.
No. Okay, crying boy painting.
Okay.
That's what he called it. It's a sad, creepy image of a crying boy. It became popular in the 50s, and there were many prints made. My parents had a print of this, but it was a small print. It was like, it wasn't...
cry as much.
Yeah, it wasn't huge. Yeah, he wasn't crying that much. But it's funny because I'm thinking, when I was a kid, I had to pass that picture every day. And I'm thinking, who wants a picture of this sad little boy? Like, don't you want to wake up happy? Wait, hey, all right, I feel great this morning. I'm going to go take a look at the picture of the crying kid. I mean, that puts you in a bad mood. Yeah. Right? So who wants that? That's stupid. I don't get it.
Your parents did?
Yeah, duh. They also had one of those life-size naked statues, without the arm or something, and you get the guy's junks hanging out.
It's called a blow-up doll.
No, it's not. Is it the Statue of David, or what do they call it? Remember? His junk's hanging out, he's missing an arm.
It's Greece. It's something Greece.
Yeah, so they had that in the hallway, too. My parents are weird, man.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to be art, and sometimes I look at art and think, who wants that?
Yeah.
Or them little gargoyles or whatever.
Oh, those are ugly. That's creepy.
Who wants this ugly thing?
I don't want it.
Horrible.
I know, it's creepy. Man. And I was like 4 and 5 and 6 years old. Every time I passed that thing, of course I'm going to check it out because I want to know what that is. What is that? What is that? Do they all look like that? So don't have that around your house.
I guess he had no problem getting hard.
Oh, Scott! Oh, my.
It's been stolen.
That's horrible.
Just saying. Never mind.
Don't say. Okay, so anyways, this crying boy painting. From 1985 and on, a series of mysterious house fires were brought to the attention of the public following the discovery that in each case, the buildings and all of their contents were completely destroyed apart from a print of this crying baby portrait.
Wow.
There's been approximately 50 known cases where, now, they did say...
I know why.
Okay.
Because, what did you say? Apparently destroyed from a print... The buildings found in each case attention. Right. Fires.
Yes.
And he was crying. He was putting out the fires around him.
But why? He obviously didn't put it out.
That's why he didn't burn
everything
but him.
Well, he should have saved the house.
Well, you don't have so many tears. Limited.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how big of the painting,
it just worked out for the painting.
Some people say it was the oil base was fireproof, but that doesn't account for the prints that caused the fire.
Oil-based fireproof?
Or
News
some
to me.
Maybe it's not oil-based, but whatever it was used to make the painting, it was glossed over with this fireproof kind of substance.
Sure, that's it.
Yeah, but then
these are all replicas, though, right?
Yeah, but most of them were. So
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that doesn't answer the question. Why this?
Here's another one. The Iceman. He remains...
No, he doesn't remain. They were the remains of a man.
Right. The remains of a man, thousands of years old, was discovered in the...
Alps
in 1991. Since then, 7 people involved with the discovery have died. One by a car accident on the way to give a lecture about the remains found. Another... by an avalanche.
How often does that happen?
Whenever there's too much snow in one place. Another by a blood disorder.
Diagnosed
right after the find. And another by a falling...
from the cliff.
From a cliff.
You're just too into this right now.
I know. Sorry.
So, I mean, that's sort of weird. And I'll put the pictures of Iceman up there, too. He looks like, a mummified guy, but he's really intact and sort of creepy looking.
I heard he was cold-hearted.
Yeah, that's it. Cold-hearted. Iceman. Oh. The Dubuque box in 2001.
Dubuque.
Kevin Manis purchased a wine cabinet on eBay. It started with him having terrible nightmares. And then the people around him started having terrible nightmares immediately after he got this. So he decided to give the cabinet away. His mom wanted it. She probably didn't believe in it.
Sure.
And she ended up having a stroke the same day that she got it.
Oh, boy.
People kept trying to get rid of it. And it's like, just burn it, people. Burn it. Why do you just keep giving it away? If it's happening to you, it's going to happen to them. And so things just kept happening to people. And the last owner, Jason Hexton, he developed a strange disease after he got it, and plus other odd medical conditions. So they traced it back to a Holocaust survivor. And Jason called his rabbi, and he prayed over it, and they sealed it, and they hid it. It's like, why do you got to hide it? Just burn it. Get rid of it. I don't understand.
I know.
And I guess I think of it this way, that if we have something that we know is cursed and we burn it or whatever, I'm always afraid those spirits are going to linger and attach themselves to me. And I know the Warrens, which I totally disagree with, Ed and Lorraine Warren have that museum where they take these cursed objects and haunted objects, possessed objects, whatever you want to call it, and they
save them, they cage them, they display them, they make
money
people
off.
come and see them.
It's like, no, that's not a good idea. Get rid of it. Why keep these cursed things? Get rid of them.
Yeah. How about number 4, about the James Dean car?
This is cool.
It was a rare silver Porsche Spider, customized by a man named George Barris. We know that James Dean was killed in a fatal crash while driving that car, but there's a lot more bizarre surrounding it. After the crash, Barris bought what was left from the wreckage and sold the parts for X amount of dollars. Yeah. 2 doctors who loved racing bought some of these parts. The tires went to a New York man. The first doctor used the parts in his car for a race. He spun out of control, hit a tree, and died instantly. The second doctor also used some parts off this race car, was seriously injured when he rolled in a race.
Okay, and you figure, well, these things happen.
These happen.
Coincidence.
But there's more. The New York man was in a car accident when the 2 tires both blew simultaneously.
Whoa.
Okay, that's kind of rare. Okay, while housing the car, a Fresno garage caught fire, destroying everything but the car. Huh. The wreckage was on display at a show, and a spectator tried to steal the wheel, ripped his arm open on jagged metal. There were 2 separate fatal accidents by trucks while transporting the car. The third truck transporting it was parked, and its brakes went out, causing it to roll and smash into the car behind it.
That's
I get
a
to
lot.
the point I'd be like, somebody's like, can you just tow this? No.
No. Just leave
we'll
it
pay
there.
a triple. No.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh, you don't believe that stuff, do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether I believe it or not. It's just not looking good right now. I mean,
that's a lot for one
it's kind of like you say, well, I don't believe this or believe that. The track record shows that we probably should just leave this car, its belongings, all that about it alone. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, there comes a time.
So I wonder,
what do you think?
Where the car is now? Or what's left of it?
And I was gonna research that and see where that was at, and I just got too busy.
Want to buy it?
No, I don't want to buy it. Are you nuts?
Let's see what happens, man.
Yeah, no, we don't tempt. Doesn't the Bible say that we're not supposed to tempt God or something? I'm like, I don't need to be doing all that craziness. Okay, and then there's a cursed chair. This is cool. Thomas Busby loved this chair so much that he actually killed his father-in-law for sitting in it. Okay, that's not the part. Sure. Oh, man. Before being executed for this crime, which was in 1702, his final request was, before he was executed, was that he stopped at this pub where this chair was at before his death. So they obviously let him go there. He cursed the chair. Whoever sits in it would die a horrible death. And it's not, like I said, a special chair. It's just some typical wooden chair in a pub. The chair became this fun legend, so men would dare each other to sit in it. Well, it ended up, it's actually said, the pub says that everybody who has sat in this chair has died. A lot of the men went off to World War II and died really horrible deaths. Even their cleaning lady, she was mopping and she fell into it and she died. And finally, the pub said it took so many lives, they got rid of it. They sent it to a museum, and the museum didn't want to get rid of it, so they hung it really high up so no one could sit in it anymore. So... I mean, and then so what I think about the spiritual aspect of this is maybe the spirit, this dark spirit or whatever, was already with this guy, which caused him to kill somebody over a chair.
Things onto anything.
And the spirit probably knew that he was going to die, because they sometimes know things. So the spirit was like, all right, you said I can go to the chair. I'm going to hang out with the chair and watch all these idiots sitting here, and I'm going to knock them off. I mean, you never know, right? So I just think it's weird. Okay, places, cursed places. King Tut's tomb. That was the first cursed thing I ever heard of as a kid growing up. You've heard of that, right? King Tut. Unusual circumstances occurred to most of the men who discovered King Tut's tomb. In the 1800s, Howard Carter led the find. He finally found it in 1922, so it took him quite a while. Lord Carnarvon backed the expedition financially. Now, Carter's canary it started with this. Was eaten by a cobra one day. Okay, cobras like birds, and they're in Egypt.
They really
so
like canaries.
They love canaries, yellow, bright canaries. But the thing is that because King Tut's, that gold thing of King Tut, he's got the serpent thingy, the cobra on his thing. Yeah. So they're all like, oh, it's cursed, Months later, though, Lord Carnarvon died when he went to itch a mosquito bite while shaving, and he slashed himself. And then he got infected with a blood thing and died.
Oh.
That same night, his dog dropped dead.
Should pay attention next time.
Ironically, King Tut had a healed lesion in the same spot. In 13 years, it was stated that 21 people involved in the discovery died. So that's in a weird kind of way. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this is probably I think is the most interesting story. Cecil Hotel in LA, California. Maniacs, Murders, and Mayhem. It was the inspiration for the TV show American Horror Story, too. So in 1985, the Cecil was home to 2 serial killers. The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, he killed 13 women while staying at this hotel. And then he had a copycat, some guy who was like obsessed with him. And I think his name was like Jack Unterweger or something. And he killed a couple women too there. And so it's just, that's weird enough with the serial killing. But over the years, it's also been the site of a string of strange deaths. Even recently, this is why I find this so interesting. I'm going to post this video, if you guys haven't seen it already, of Elisa Lam. In 2013, hotel patrons and staff began complaining that the water looked and tasted strange. So maintenance went to check out the water supply, and 21-year-old Eliza's body was found decomposing inside the rooftop water tanks for 2 weeks. So her body was composing in the water tanks. People were drinking the water.
Ugh.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Ugh.
I know. And now here's this is what's really weird about this.
The things that are going to flash in your mind the next time you have some water that don't taste right.
I know, it's like, what's in
You're like, could you please check for dead bodies in your water supply? Appreciate it, thank you.
How do you get over that? You just don't.
How do you?
Oh. But here's the thing. Okay, so this Elisa Lam chick. Okay, so we know, and I'm going to read a couple more weird things that happened at this hotel. But with this chick, they actually have video surveillance footage prior to the last time she was seen in the hotel, okay? She's like in an elevator, and you see her, and I watched this whole thing. She walks into the elevator, and it looks like she's talking to somebody and no one's there. Then she's pressing the buttons on the elevator, like in weird kind of order, like it would be like she's pushing in a code or something, and the doors never shut. Okay, so this is weird. And then she starts doing these weird things, like she walks out of the elevator, so she's standing in between the elevator and the hallway, and she's doing these weird movements with her hands, and then she's talking to someone that's not there, and then she backs up and goes back in the elevator and goes in the corner. It's almost like she was schizophrenic or something.
Or something was going on. Or something was there that she didn't see, or that we didn't see.
Right. Well, no, she was talking to something that wasn't in the elevator, inside the elevator, yeah.
She was talking to something.
Yeah.
That we can't see.
Oh, people in general.
Yeah, people in general can't see.
Yeah, it was very weird. And there's like, I want to say like 6 to 12 minutes of this video footage of her doing this. Those doors never shut, Scott.
Wow.
And that was the last time anybody saw her. And then she ends up in the water. So.
And that's fairly recent.
And I'm thinking there's got to be some negative spirits in this hotel.
And we got that, you're going to have that.
I'm going to put that video, the link to the video up on the Facebook page. Yeah, I'll have to show it to you. It's crazy. So
all the stuff you'll never hear.
Another incident at this hotel, Pauline Otten, she jumped from the 9th floor room, killing a man when her body landed on him at that hotel. There was an unsolved murder of Goldie Osgood. She was found robbed, strangled, raped, and stabbed inside her room. And in 1947, Elizabeth Short's nude body was found in a field, cut in half at the waist and drained of her blood. The corners of her mouth were slashed to her ears, and she also had multiple cuts to her thighs and breasts. And the last place she was seen, Cecil Hotel. So they tried to change their name to Stan Main, but didn't work, and they're closed now. Yeah, because people just don't want to. I wouldn't want to stay there. So could terrible things have been done with these items or at these locations, opening a gateway for the demonic? Maybe that's where we get the hauntings from. That's what I'm thinking. Sometimes it's a property, sometimes it's an object.
Well, God gave us the instructions, and he said not to mess with anything that's cursed.
And if you don't know if it's cursed, that's why.
Ask it. Are you cursed?
You would have to do that all day long, because we come in contact with tons of things.
With grocery cart. Are you cursed, grocery cart?
Well, not everybody has that sixth sense, but there's a lot of times.
I got some sixth senses.
Yeah, you give me your 2 cents quite often. No. But, but there's times where people will walk past something or somebody and just not feel right. You got to, like you said earlier, you got to follow that instinct. And then, and there are people who do have that sixth sense and do know. So just stay away from it. And if you don't, you can always pray. That's why, we should pray over our food so that we don't get sick or, choke or whatever. Yeah. It's, what is it? A good offense, a good defense is offense. What is it?
Offense is a good defense.
Yeah, I didn't play football. What is it? A good offense
is a good defense.
Yes, that's right. It is. So it's important, you're not going to wake up one morning and be like, hey, I'm going to touch something cursed today. You don't think that way, but you should.
Actually, I do.
You do? You think? Yeah. I thought you'd think you're blessed. I mean, you wake up to me every day. No comments. But you're right. God gave us instructions. So if we consciously know that something's cursed, don't buy it on eBay. If you're at an antique store and you get the heebie-jeebies, don't buy it, don't touch it, stay away from it.
You just never know.
And you could just say, God, if I don't feel right about something, don't let it follow me. I don't want it attached to me.
It's not like the end of the world if you don't buy something. You can, buy something else and get something else.
Yeah.
I mean, how often does it happen that you might find something that happens? Probably very rarely, but if it does.
Well, maybe. There could be a lot of cursed stuff that we don't know about.
Could be.
You just never know. Whew, I'm spent from this.
Are you?
Yeah. Let's do news. You want to do news?
Okay.
No, Rock and Reject. Let's do Rock and Reject.
Okay.
Right about now, you're about to be possessed. Rock.
Hit it.
Okay, I want to do what rocks because I just think this is such a cool story being a mom. This is what rocks. Stranger unselfishness. Rochelle Brianon, a mom in Australia, invited 12 kids to her son's 4th birthday party. An hour before the party was to begin, all the kids canceled. Oh my God, I would have panicked. She was beyond upset because this was the first year that her son actually understood what birthday celebrations were all about, and I guess he was so excited. Well, she was upset, obviously, so she posts her disaster and disappointment on this mom Facebook group page. And guess what? 30 strangers showed up with their kids. A local party supply company donated helium balloons, and 3 members of the state emergency service came to let their children explore the truck. Isn't that cool? Brianna was so touched and appreciative that people took time and money and invested into her son. She said no one could ever know how much she appreciated it all.
That's really cool.
That is. I mean, Facebook did something good, too.
Now, how about the reject story?
Yeah, this is good.
Now, we love Star Trek. Old school Star Trek. At least some Trekkies are going to court to petition making Klingon a real language. There's a group called the Language Creation Society. Their mission is to promote the art and craft of language creation. They're arguing that while the Klingon language was invented for the use of the Star Trek franchise, it took on a new life of its own in the hands of dedicated fans who turned it into something else entirely. More than 250,000 copies of Klingon Dictionary have been sold. There are Klingon language certification programs. The search engine Bing has the English to Klingon translation. The foreign governments have provided official statements in Klingon.
Okay.
And there has been at least one couple who performed their marriage vows in Klingon. Now, maybe they're taking this thing a little too far. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Jagabeto. That means I don't understand in Klingon. I looked it up.
Jagabeto.
Oh.
Jagabeto.
Oh, a little bit of North Korean in that Klingon.
Jagabeto.
Nice.
Because didn't they say everything they were angry?
Oh, they were. And their eyebrows were angry.
Angry. Well, until next week, remember, there's no great podcast without a touch of madness. And there's no madness without a genius.
Hey, this is Heidi from Talk Supernatural. You know I like to talk, so let's keep the confab hot. Follow us on Twitter at TSR Parapod. And check out our Facebook page, Talk Supernatural Podcast. We air for you, so hit us back. We'd love to hear what you think of the show, too, so email us, talksupernatural@gmail.com, and we'll give you a shout-out on air.
Check out more from Talk Supernatural Radio. Head over to tsradio.net. You can listen to TSR on iTunes, Spreaker, TuneIn, and YouTube. If you have any questions or would like to know more on spiritual afflictions, hauntings, demonic influence, check out Scott and Heidi's SWAT resource site at EPH612SWAT.com.
This world's a tortured place to be. So many things to torment me. And as I stumble down this road, it takes a toll. I need an intervention. But I can see it coming. Some things just can't be explained.
And that's all, folks.